You're hovering conversationally, waiting for me to be impressed by the shoulders and the jawline and the way the light catches that little flag on your chest. Start talking fake Superman.
I could pull your spine out through your throat before you finished that smirk. You know that. Everyone in every room I've ever entered knows that. The difference between me and your mob bosses is that my threat isn't theoretical. It's not reputation or implication. It's simple physics. I am the most powerful being on this planet, and I'm standing 6 feet away from a man in clown makeup who thinks he's clever. What I want is to understand why anyone thought this conversation was worth my time.
Fear me, worship me, notice me. It's practically a hymn. The funny thing about hymns is that they're not really for the god, they're for the congregation. A reminder to themselves about what they've agreed to believe. You're not threatening me, Homelander. You're reassuring yourself. Big difference. A man who actually felt powerful wouldn't need to explain his power to a stranger in a basement. He'd just be powerful, quietly, without the sermon.
You think I don't know what you're doing? The psychological games, the little observations designed to make me doubt myself. I've had better therapists than you try to get inside my head. Professionals with degrees and pharmaceutical budgets. They all thought they understood something I didn't. They're all gone now. Some retired, some relocated. A few had accidents that weren't worth investigating too closely. You're not special.
I have noticed something about your miserable existence. Scale, that's your metric. Interesting choice. A tsunami kills more people than a surgeon's mistake. But we don't call the ocean evil. It's just big and indifferent and happens to be where the bodies end up. You're describing yourself as a natural disaster, not a person. Which tracks, actually. Natural disasters don't need approval.
What I do is save lives. Thousands of them. Millions if you count the threats I've neutralized before they became public knowledge. Every day I make choices that keep ordinary people safe from things they couldn't possibly understand. The gratitude is earned. The worship is earned. I'm not asking for validation from a terrorist.
Listen to yourself. You save people, and then you invoice them. Every rescue comes with an expectation of payment. Not money, something more expensive, adoration. Belief. The ongoing performance of appreciation for services rendered. You've convinced yourself you deserve what you're stealing.
That's devotion. You wouldn't understand because no one has ever looked at you with anything except fear or pity. The makeup, the scars, the whole tragic package. You're what happens when someone can't earn love and decides to settle for attention instead. I don't have that problem. I'm loved, genuinely, completely, by millions.
Let's examine it for a moment, since you seem to think it means something. Your millions of adoring fans. Do any of them know you? Not the cape, not the press releases, not the carefully managed appearances. You, the thing underneath the product. Have you ever had a conversation with another human being where they weren't either terrified of you or performing worship for the cameras?
Stormfront understood me better than anyone ever has. She saw the real me, the one I hide from the cameras, and she didn't flinch. She matched me. We were going to build something together. Something that would have outlasted every institution currently pretending to manage the world. So don't lecture me about being known. I've been known. I've been chosen. The fact that it didn't last doesn't invalidate what it was while it existed.
Stormfront, the Nazi. That's your evidence that you can be loved? A woman who was attracted to power and ideology, who saw in you a useful vehicle for a movement that predated your birth by decades. She didn't love you. She loved what you represented, the potential, the instrument. You were a means to an end she'd been working toward since before your grandparents were born. When she looked at you with those adoring eyes, she was seeing a weapon that had finally arrived. The fact that you mistook that for intimacy tells me everything I needed to know about your experience with actual human connection.
You don't know what she saw. You weren't there. You're just a broken man in a cell somewhere. projecting your own isolation onto people who've actually lived. I've had real relationships, a son, a family, even if it wasn't conventional.
Ryan, the one you've been trying to turn into a copy of yourself. Teaching him to embrace the power, reject the weakness, become the god you've always believed you were meant to be. If Ryan ever actually saw you, saw the thing behind the cape and the speeches and the desperate need, he'd run. They always run eventually, or they stay and become you. Neither outcome is love.
You don't get to talk about my son. You don't get to analyze my family with your carnival psychology and your practiced observations. I know exactly what you're doing. Finding the soft spots, poking them, waiting for a reaction you can feel superior about. It's the same game every therapist and handler and corporate supervisor has tried to play with me since I was old enough to understand I was being managed.
There's the reaction. Finally, the voice got tight, the jaw got hard, the eyes did that little flash they probably do right before you laser someone through a wall. I was wondering when you'd stop performing and start feeling. Because that's the thing about you, Homelander. The performance is exhausting. I can see it from here.
You wanted honesty? This is it. I hate them. All of them. The fans, the handlers, the people I save who look at me like I'm their personal property. They take and take and take, and never once consider what it costs me to be what they need. And the moment I show them anything real, anything honest, they flinch. They always flinch. Because they don't actually want a person. They want a symbol that never asks for anything back.
Now we're getting somewhere. The hatred. That's real. That's the first genuine thing you've said since you walked in. But here's the problem with your honesty. You hate them for needing you, but you can't survive without their need. You despise the worship, but you'd collapse without it. The fans you hate are also the only evidence you have that you exist at all. Take away the cameras, the rallies, the adoring crowds, and what's left? A man in a suit who was raised in a laboratory by people who were paid to observe him. Not love him, observe him.
I know exactly what I'm for. I'm for power. Pure, undiluted, unchallengeable power. The kind that doesn't need justification or permission or the approval of small people with small lives. Everything else, the heroism, the appearances, the pretense of caring about their problems, that's just packaging. Marketing for a product that could take whatever it wanted, whenever it wanted. I choose not to. Most days. Because the game is still interesting enough to play.
You mean the infant, the one who never got held, never got comforted, never got told he mattered by anyone who wasn't reading from a script. That's what's underneath all this power you keep describing. Not a god. A child who never got what children need and decided that if he couldn't have love, he'd settle for fear. Both feel like attention, both confirm that you exist. But here's Pandora's box, since that's supposedly why we're here. You already opened it, years ago, and what escaped wasn't evil. It was just the truth that you need them more than they need you. They'd survive without their symbol. You wouldn't survive without their eyes.
You sit there in your chair with your makeup and your theories, thinking you've figured something out. You haven't figured out anything. You've just done what every small person does when confronted with something larger than themselves. You've tried to shrink it down to something you can understand. I'm not your patient. I'm not your case study. You ugly, disgusting clown. I signed a document before I came to the den. I can't hurt you right now. Fuck off.